What's up, Buck fans? You know what day it is? It's Monday. It's RBT live stream day. So I'm blessed to be joined together with Gene Thomas over at BucWhatYaHeard. He's pretty much the guy that got Plus and I started on all this live stream, podcast, YouTube. He's the one that kind of contacted us and got us our juices flowing to kind of get this stuff started. So, Gene, let everyone know about who you are, what you do, and thank you for coming on to the show.
Bro, it's always an honor to be on here. You guys have been amazing since day one. I mean, the one thing that I will say about Real Bucs Talk, that it has been Real Bucs Talk from day one. I don't think, and I'm on Twitter a lot, and I see you guys, and some of the things that you put out there, and I can't think of anything where you guys have been like incendiary and put something out and then had to retract it later on. You guys are normally pretty spot on when you put stuff out there and it's on point. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy it. I enjoy the content. You guys are on my Tuesday rotation, of podcasts in the afternoon. You guys are there, man. So yeah, you just keep doing what you're doing. And my name is Gene. You can reach me at BucWhatYaHeard on Twitter. You follow me, I'll follow you back. And I do have my podcast on, it's supposed to be on Wednesday, but because of this pandemic, unprecedented times, it's just been kind of hit and miss when I can get guests on. We'll try to get them on, but normally the show, when we get football season started, the show will be Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely look forward to that. Always looking to get different guests on and try to interact with a lot of the listeners as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that again, like James Hill was one of the originators. You're one of the originators too, in my mind. I mean, you two are the two like we kind of always went to and to get information. It's like you're feeding the fire for everyone else, pretty much, in my opinion. But
yeah, and the thing is, I want to see more. I mean, I always make this joke, but it's true. I mean, there are so many Bucs podcasts, live, some that are still going, others that are in hiatus until the season starts. But there are so many to choose from. But again, you guys are right up there at the top of my list, and I'm glad that we're all friends, and I consider you guys like family as long as we've kind of been together,
right,
doing this.
I agree. If there's ever a question, I always contact you. I'm like, how the hell do I fix this? But but with that said, let's get into some Bucs news. So obviously, I haven't talked to you fully about Tom Brady, Gronk, all this. Before we talk about the real tough stuff to talk about, let's talk about the joyous stuff. Let's get some hype. What did you think about it? Did you think it was even going to happen? What's your take?
No, I did not. Actually, there was one of our listeners. He kept telling me, "Hey, the Bucs are looking at Tom Brady. The Bucs are looking at Tom Brady," and I'll be like, "Yeah, okay. Go take that somewhere else. I'm not. I'm only dealing in facts right now." And sure enough, as the you hear more media, it starts to build momentum, and then pretty soon here we are, and then we're actually the Bucs are signing Tom Brady, and I was like, wow, that's a power move right there, and for the record, and I know people hate mentioning his name, but the previous quarterback that was here, Jameis Winston, I was a huge supporter of Jameis Winston, regardless of how a lot of people felt about it, but when you have a chance to get a Tom Brady in Tampa under center, that's a plus. I look at the missed opportunities that the Bucs had last year, and I think we talked about this a little bit off camera. It was like a punch in the stomach, some of the games that the Bucs lost that they should have won for all intents and purposes. So what we've done here, or what I shouldn't say what the team has done here, has gone out and solidified that quarterback position, in my opinion. I know a lot of people look at Brady's age. Somebody even mentioned arm strength, which I'm not going down that direction, because I'm telling you what, when you have the tools that Tom Brady has to work with, I think he's in a very, very good position right now. So I'm not stressing about that too much. So, getting him to me was an upgrade at this very moment, just based on decision making, based on protecting the ball, based on getting your defense back and putting your defense in a position to succeed more times than not is definitely going to bode well for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's just, and then that proven leader, everyone knows he can get you there. Mm-hmm. It's not wondering, is this guy going to throw another interception? I mean, the former quarterback, like everyone likes to say, you just didn't know if you were in it or if he was going to give it away. This guy,
right.
You know, is proven 20 years. He's always in the playoffs, always near a Super Bowl. So, I mean, I think that just helps the team's morale and genuinely, right? So, obviously, awesome. Same thing with Gronk. I thought, horse shit, that's not going to happen. There's no way. And then, like 20 minutes later, he signed. I was like, what?
This is my thing with Gronk. I don't know what Gronk's going to do when it comes to being a Buccaneer and when it comes to getting out there and playing. I don't know what condition he's going to be in. He's kind of a product sight unseen right now because we don't know what he's going to do. But, I'm not giving up on him. I think this is going to be a good opportunity for him to show what he can do.
I mean, he was skinny. It's like he was overweight. So hopefully he was keeping himself in some type of shape with the WWE. But hey, if anything,
it does put him in shape. Right? I guess, yeah.
Hey, Madden thinks he's ready to rock and roll. He's 95. So, right? But either way, I mean, I'd rather him even be a decoy for everyone, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. Go ahead, finish.
Oh, no. What I was going to say is I think that there are some things that us as fans, we don't know when it comes to Tom Brady and what he's going to be able to do here, especially with this offense. We do know historically that Bruce Arians' offense has not been very tight end friendly. And we kind of saw a little bit of that last year. I believe that you will see a little bit more of a difference with a Tom Brady, who is a really good decision maker. I think he's going to put his players in a position to succeed. With the O.J. Howard, with the Cameron Brate, who are 100% healthy, it's definitely going to be something to look forward to.
Yeah. So, I'm looking in the group chat. Raymond's always good with his points. So he says Brady will win with his brain. That's like the easiest thing to say, and it's perfectly true.
He's like an offensive coordinator under center.
Yeah. He says even if his arm strength is falling off, his ability
I don't buy that.
Read a defense is absolutely deadly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, it's seeing it before it's there. That's what we're missing. It's not throwing a rocket launcher. It's more, it's going to be there, so I'm going to lead him to that. I mean,
and you've broken down game film. You see how fast he's getting the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
It's just gone. I mean, he's and when you're able to do those pre-snap reads, whenever you're able to get up to the line and see everything and understand what you're looking at and take advantage of what you're looking at, that puts you in a position to succeed. And again, that's something that we haven't had in Tampa. I would go all the way back to Brad Johnson. I mean, if you combine all the quarterbacks from Brad Johnson to Tom Brady right now, can you name 4 quarterbacks that have been able to do that, where they can go up to the line, pre-snap read, they see the defense, they know what they need to do, and are able to take advantage of that? I think you may have seen a little bit of it with Jeff Garcia, but other than that, I'm trying to think what other quarterback have you consistently seen that from?
Consistently, that's hard to say. I mean, Jeff Garcia was good because he knew Gruden's offense in and out.
Yeah. And again, here's a guy that he could actually read a defense too. So that put him in a different position than a lot of the other quarterbacks that we've seen come through.
I mean, proof is in the pudding with Brady. I mean, I don't know how people can be so mad about it. I've gotten the future. What about the future? I mean, you got 2 years of Super Bowl contending. I think you're going to take it, especially with a dying fan base that's just fed up with losing. I mean, it's a business move and it's a now move. And you have time to think about the future in 2 years.
Dude, and think about this. The way that they're signing these players and the quality players that they're getting, I have high expectations for this draft class just based on what we've seen from them. I know that you can't be 100%. You can't hit a home run on every draft pick, but it seems like Jason Light has gotten better as each year he's progressed as a general manager. And I think he's really gotten better. He's definitely improved with the addition of Bruce Arians and that large coaching staff that he has, where he can kind of lean on them for help. And I thought last year was probably, I don't, you tell me if I'm wrong here, but that may have been Jason Light's one of his better drafts in his career as the Buccaneer.
This year or last year?
Last year. I'm going to say last year.
Yeah.
We haven't, and I'm only basing this on body of work. I'm not basing this on potential or paper. I'm just looking at body of work. Since Jason Light has been here, I can't include this year's draft until we've seen what they can do. But just, based on what they were able to come out and do on the field, I thought that last year's draft, for Jason Light was probably one of his better ones.
I mean, you can even say the 2015 draft. I mean, even though Winston was, I guess, a bust, you'll kind of say. Either way, he's still.
I won't say he's broken every imaginable passing record for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You love him or you hate the guy. Yeah. You're going to have to mention his name because he holds all the records. Yeah. So again, if that's a bust, I'll take a bust every time. Right. If that's what you're calling a bust.
He just didn't pan out the way they wanted it to. But I mean,
exactly.
Still, look, you have Donovan Smith.
It was poor timing. It was poor timing too. I think had a lot to do. But go ahead. You were talking about Donovan Smith,
Alan Marpet, Quan Alexander. I mean, that's a pretty loaded all starters, all like huge fat paycheck starters. I mean, say what you want about Donovan Smith, he's still a good starter. He's still to me like a middle of the pack offensive lineman, but he's your left tackle you can kind of depend on. But that's just my view of him watching tape. I know a lot of people have very strong opinions, but that's my take. Anyway, that was a good draft. This could be a better one, this past one, but before we move on from draft, I want to get to this question before I forget because the comments are coming in. Someone was asking what rookie player has the highest expectations for this draft class right now. This is Buccaneer 54.
For me, I'm going to say Winfield. That's the guy that's the name that I keep hearing. And, for the position that everybody's concerned about when you talk about the secondary, this is just somebody that everybody has high expectations for, and I'm really curious to see what he's going to do if his skill set translate to the NFL. Like I believe that it will.
That's a good but tough question for me. I mean, high expectations. I mean, everyone's going to say a first round pick's going to have the highest, but for me, right tackle starting. I mean, how high can you expect his expectations?
He's still kind of raw, and when you look at issues with consistency, I had to really lower my expectations for Wirtz coming in. I would like to see him work out with the team and get a feel for the speed of the NFL. I don't have very high expectations for him his rookie year. As a season progresses, we'll see what he does, and if he starts to acclimate himself, then hey man, this works out good. But his rookie season, again, just based on what I've seen from him, game film, there's a lot of stuff that he needs to work on. He's very inconsistent at times, and you'll see plays where he looks dominant, and then there are other plays like you're like, what is this guy doing? So these are things that I've seen from him, and I don't want to put him in a position where I expect him to be perfect every play when he comes out on the field. But I do expect him to get snaps and get better progressively. But again, that's why I didn't even mention him as my first choice as somebody that we should be watching.
Well, I mean, I agree with you with the Winfield, but still, either way, he doesn't even have to have that high of expectation because he's in a group that's surrounded by a lot of talent. You have Whitehead, you have Edwards, you have, if potentially Justin Evans comes back, that's a big room. And then, I mean...
I was talking about Wirtz. I thought we were talking about Wirtz. I'm sorry.
No. I'm with you with Wirtz. I was just saying highest expectation. You said Winfield.
Yeah.
And I agree with it in some capacity, but he doesn't have to have that much on him, that much expectation. Yeah, he's a second-round pick, but he's also in a room that's kind of loaded. I'd almost say this is going to be a weird one, but Keyshawn Vaughn, I mean, catching the ball out of the backfield, blocking for Tom Brady. You better be blocking. That's a high expectation to block for his ass. Right. So I would expect you to be able to block his blind side if the blitzer's coming. So that's a big expectation if you're on the field.
Yeah.
Big if.
That's true. He's another one, but again, just because the secondary position was not addressed in free agency, and you're going to have people that are going to be watching him. A lot of people are happy with the pick. I would say the majority of Bucs fans are happy with the pick, but ultimately it's going to be, what is this guy doing? They're going to be watching him through a microscope, because there are still people that have that Derwin James hangover from whenever it was that have not let that go. And then you have a guy that's coming in here to play. And again, it's one of those things that I feel like he's going to be successful. I think he's on a team in the right place at the right time. And with his skill set and his intangibles, I just, again, I have very high expectations for him.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you too. I mean, I'm not going to knock that at all. So Jay Elmore in the chat was saying Tyler Johnson in our wide receiver room and Brady throwing the ball. Yeah, but I mean, but that's the thing. I don't have a high expectation for him. He was a low, fifth round pick. I mean, I'm not expecting him to go out there and ball, especially with Godwin, Mike, Scotty in front of him.
So I'm gonna let me ask you this, and I'm glad. Thank you, Jay, for bringing up Tyler Johnson. Does Tyler compete for that number 3 receiver position? Because when you look at the Buccaneers offense, you've got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, right? And then you've got this steep drop off on the number three wide receiver position. You have to be realistic about that. I mean, you're not going to turn around and put Randy Watson, Jesus, Justin Watson. You're not going to put Justin Watson in a number.
I know where you're going with that.
You're not gonna put either Justin Watson or Randy Watson on the brain here, but you're not gonna put one of those guys in a number 1 or number 2 position unless there are injuries that are occurring. It's such a steep drop off between the number 1 and 2 receiver, and then you're looking at your number 3. So that's my question to you is: do you think Tyler Johnson is that wide receiver that kind of snuck in, and the Bucs were able to get him, and he's going to compete and push for that number 3 wide receiver position this early?
I think he has the potential to, but I think it's going to still be tough. I mean, either way, learning an offense, getting up to speed without much practice. I mean, you haven't even seen him with Brady practicing. I mean, obviously he's probably doing something with the coaches through Zoom calls, but still, it's different on the field running routes. Does he have a talent in the slot? Hell yeah. Does he have ability to win jump balls on the outside? Absolutely. But does he have the deep speed that you want for your outside corner? No. So I think he's kind of pigeonholed to the slot to a certain extent. I mean, but that him going in and out with Scotty Miller, I mean, depending on personnel of what the defense is bringing out, I don't see why he couldn't be in a position that way. Because, I mean, I don't think he's had much special teams work. I don't know. But do I think he's going to be in a competition? Absolutely. I mean, because there's no proven number 3 right now. There just isn't.
Yeah, 100%. I had really high expectations for Scotty Miller last year. I mean, just watching him in preseason, seeing what he can do, what he could potentially do. Then I seen him smoke a cornerback on a go route, and I was like, wow, this guy, if this guy gets the game under him and he gets a better understanding of the game and the nuances of being a wide receiver, this guy could be a very dangerous player. But then you see the hamstring injury at the back end of the season, and you're always concerned, when you see him on the field. So again, I know that's just his rookie season. I know that there's time for him to improve and get better, conditioning and keeping himself healthy and protecting himself from getting hurt. It is the NFL and all. But again, I just, with such a steep drop off, I guess Scotty Miller would probably be the guy that you're looking at as your number 3, because he is working out with Tom Brady, or he has been, and he's got a year of this offense under his belt.
And to be honest, like, I don't know if you saw our film study of him. Mm-hmm. He was open or potentially going to be open. It's just throwing him open. I mean, knowing the safety's too short, too like shallow, and he's going to beat him over top. I mean, if it's even, you're leaving, right? You got to throw that ball to where it's going to be, not where he's at. But guys, if you're in the chat, go ahead and help us out down below. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, and again, go check out Gene's channel, BucWhatYaHeard. But let's keep talking some Buck football. So actually, I want to touch over to some actual news that's going on right now. Mm-hmm. But Bucs switched the rookie report date to Thursday. It was supposed to be tomorrow. So pretty much they're just listing off the 20 rookies that should be coming. It just so happens it's the same day that the quarterbacks report to arrive. So this is the type of news we get to talk about in this not fun time of the pandemic. So what do you think about them reporting Thursday? I mean, it's going to happen. I don't know why they pushed it back a couple days, but
you know what? It's funny. This reminds me of the same feeling I had with Tom Brady signing with the Bucs. I'm just like, well, you know, let's wait and see what actually happens, or if this actually goes down. And here we are. You know, this is the first news I've heard of this, and I'm super excited. I definitely this is where you get excited about this. I got my thing from the email about NFL Sunday Ticket, so you know, I guess I'm all in now. So we'll see what we'll see what happens. You know, again, first and foremost, I think safety, health is more important than the game. As much as I love this game, just people being healthy. This is your livelihood, and you know, there's life after football, and you know, how do you live out the rest of your life if, you know, we know what this COVID-19 can do to your lungs, and it can damage your body long term, and it's shown that you don't quickly recover from it, or you don't recover from it at all. So I guess to me, my biggest thing is, you know, making sure that everybody's healthy. I mean, that's to me the most important aspect in all of this, because they're human beings. They have families, they have lives, and I think that needs to be at the forefront.
Yeah, that's something we touched on in the last live stream about Donovan Smith, how he's saying, "Oh, I'm debating playing because my daughter's about to be born in 3 weeks." Yeah, I mean, based on him having that choice, I agree with him. You have that choice to do. I wasn't mad about his choice. I was more mad about him asking for a pay raise. In the end, he's like, "Oh, well, they're asking us to take a pay cut. Shouldn't that warrant a pay raise?" And like, people got upset at me saying, "Oh, you can't compare the two jobs. He has a job that's so." Yeah, but still, you don't ask for a pay raise if you're already getting millions and you have the choice to sit out. To me, that just doesn't make sense. I mean, if I go to my job and say, "No, give me a pay raise," or I'm sitting, they're like, "Go ahead and go sit down," and then they're going to pick me up in the new one. It's not like my job. Anyone can, not anyone, but a lot more people can do than what
Donovan Smith was in the right place at the right time, because when his contract came up and everything was going through negotiations, there was nobody on the market available to come in, start day one, and you're 100% comfortable that they're going to be able to do the job. There was nobody else available. So you almost had to pay Donovan when you did. I hear so many people still upset that Jason Light gave Donovan Smith the money they gave him, but you had to, because there was nobody else. And everybody that has complained about it, my number one question is, who would you have gotten? Who was available? There was nobody in free agency. There was nobody that you could trade for, that you wouldn't lose the farm trying to get somebody else in here just because you didn't want to pay this guy. You were like in a position where you had to pay him. And now, like, as you mentioned, now I'm rolling my eyes like, geez, dude, just go out here and do what you need to do. This will be the time that you would go out here, perform well with Tom Brady, and it's going to put you in a better position, you know, if you need to negotiate for next year, just because you've proven your worth, and you've proven your worth with Tom Brady.
Oh, about Donovan Smith?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I understand his side. I mean,
absolutely.
If I'm worried about getting it, my wife, it's the same thing. Don't you dare bring that stuff into my house. I understand everything. And if I put my family in that position of someone dying or even at risk of getting hurt, I would rather myself take the burden than anyone else. So I don't want to risk anything else.
Right.
So I completely understand it. To me, it was just more the financial situation of it, and then acting like
that's the part I'm talking about. Because, like I said, when he got that big contract, there was nobody else. Who else was out there that you could have said, "Okay, Donovan, go ahead and walk. We'll get this guy in"? Who would have been that? Who would have been this guy you would have brought in to replace him at that very moment?
Oh, it's that, and as well, people are like, "Oh, draft someone. It would be just the same." Donovan Smith is not bad. People think he's just trash, And so
Yeah,
many people
better
join the
the devil
bandwagon
you
of
know than the devil
Badger.
you don't know, because you could get somebody that's 10 times worse than Donovan Smith, thinking that you're getting over and saving money.
I heard someone say, "Oh, just move Tristan Wirfs over to left tackle and sign back DeMar Dotson." Like it's going to
Yeah,
be
this
the
ain't
easiest
Matt.
fix, right?
This ain't
Like,
Matt.
so a guy that's been playing right tackle for 3 years, just switch him over to left. He's going to learn it easily in the NFL. And then DeMar Dotson, who is declining in a major way last year, put him right back in. He's ready to go. No, like guys, it's like you said, it's not
It's
Madden.
only on Madden you can see that. Hey, Thomas W. Thomas Corral had a question. He was saying, how many games how many games does Gronk play before he gets injured? I know he hasn't had a full season in a long time. What happens to the run?
So I can't put a number on that. I'm
Dude.
hoping this happens. Like I said in the beginning of the show, I'm hoping he's more of a decoy and more of a third down blanket because Brady just loves him and knows where he's going to be with all the routes and timing they have together. I mean, even Gronkowski was in a video like this week actually, or past week, about how the chemistry between him and Brady are just perfect after the past like 9 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think that's when it's going to come into play. I don't think he's going to burden the load like he did 3 years past when he's the only dude out there. It's Edelman in the slot and then him.
Right.
We have everything around him, so he doesn't have to take that load. So I think he'll last a lot longer than people think because no one's going to be headhunting. You have to stay back with Evans going deep, with Godwin going over the middle, with Scotty Miller flying down the damn seams. Like Gronkowski.
And you got to be scared because we haven't even talked about Cameron Brate or the physical presence of O.J. Howard.
Yeah.
Another guy that we haven't gotten to talk about yet is Ronald Jones, and it boggles my mind how people are overlooking this man and just basically saying, oh, they make it sound like he has no hands. Number one, and I've seen your film study on him. They make it seem like he has no hands, he can't catch, his hands are bricks. And the one thing I will say about Ronald Jones is his catching, when he catches the ball, it doesn't look natural, but he can get up the field. He's a violent runner. And when you have that speed in space, I think that he's definitely a weapon, and I believe that he's going to work out well with Tom Brady as well. And you see him in the offseason. Each offseason, you've seen what he's done to progress and continue to get better. And if I'm not mistaken, he had over 1,000 all-purpose yards last year, right?
Yeah.
When you consider the 700 plus rushing and then the 300 plus receiving, he had 1,000 yards all-purpose, right?
I'm almost 100% sure. I can always take 2 seconds to Google this.
Yeah, because I was thinking in my mind, the back of my head, I was thinking he did, and nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the fact that you had that guy, and he was splitting snaps with Adare Ogunbowale and Peyton Barber. So he wasn't your bell cow running back, and he still was able to produce the way he did. So that's my hot take is this guy's going to be a monster.
Yeah, so he had 700 yards rushing, 724 rushing, and 309. So like 1,031 yards total offense or total. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean.
And Thomas was saying I was talking about Gronk's impact on the run game. Sorry, my bad.
On the run game, absolutely. He was one of the best run blockers when he was playing. Plus, that's almost 6'7" frame, and he's just built all of 6'7", wide, bulky, huge ass hands. I mean, the dude knows how to do it.
He loved to block.
Yeah,
and he loves to block.
He literally is just like he is who he is. He's like a kid out there, and he just wants to play the game and really play it to the fullest. That's what it seems like, and it just. Something clicks where he's like, okay, I'm going from a kid joking around to I got to beat the man in front of me. And it's
right.
I love the combination. I can't wait to see it hopefully come to fruition in a Buccaneer uniform because it's too fun to watch. I mean, I hope we can just see this madhouse of an offensive weaponry we can show on display every Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, definitely.
No, I mean, again, weapon, that's why I kind of mentioned Keyshawn Vaughn. I mean, if he's catching the ball, you can Rojo and him in and out. I know Dare's been practicing with Tom Brady, but still, I mean, Dare, I wasn't the biggest fan of Dare, even though Bruce Arians.
And have you guys haven't haven't done a film study on him, have you?
No, not yet. Well, I guess we can take a
Okay.
peek, but
Yeah, because I think that I'm biased because I thought that there were plays where he should have made plays and he didn't make plays, and I thought that there were plays where he was out on the field, and I felt like Ronald Jones, who's a more violent runner, should have been on the field. There were plays that were called back because of penalties that it just irks my nerves. Where Ronald Jones could have easily had at least 800-900 yards rushing. When you think about some of the plays that got called back just because of stupid penalties.
absolutely. And then we just improved. To be honest, I mean,
Yeah.
Tristan Wirfs may not have the awareness that DeMar Dotson has, but he has way more athleticism, youth on his side, and then if he just slowly builds that awareness to get that athleticism working with that awareness, I mean, mid-season you could be looking at a really good right tackle. Left tackle, no.
Yeah,
right
absolutely.
tackle, yes. But let's
Absolutely.
Actually, before we go on to the next Bucs news, Jay Elmore mentioned this earlier. He says, let's not forget the potential of 2 tight end sets as a third wide receiver. Gronk could split out wide. Plus, and I mentioned this before, and we could run this whole offense off of 21 like you can run 2 tight end sets or 3 tight end sets and just have one wide receiver.
Exactly.
I mean, it's scary with the formations you can do, and everyone has to be like, oh, I have a monster over there.
Yeah, that's a defensive coordinator nightmare right there.
Like, why are they doing this? So they got to be running. No, we could be passing every play out of that set. But all right, let's keep going on. Let's get some more Buccaneer news. So Bucs preparing for a return to action. They've interviewed, who was it? Brian Mitchell over here. He's hungry to play. Mm-hmm. Just talking about how he heard the news of Tom Brady, couldn't believe it, and then laughing at how they have the the Sky Fox thing overhead, just laughing at it. I mean, this is the news we got, guys. But I mean, just stuff like this. They're itching to play. I'm not the most confident if they're going to play, but I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer at all. I'm excited. I hope we get started. We want to play. We're excited that if it does start, we will play. We'll be ready. So, I mean, but that's pretty much how it is right now. Like, no one knows if we're going to play. We all want to, obviously, but like you've been saying, like I've been saying, health comes first. I never demand anyone to play. It's not my own guilty pleasure. I need to see it. No. I don't know why so many people think that. It's more, we all want normalcy. But the thing is, if that comes at someone's life, hell no.
No, never. And it shouldn't. That should never even be on the table.
Yeah. And so sometimes people spin words, but I mean, other than that, I agree with Mitchell. I want to see it, but again, all of them could say I'm not going to play. It's their choice, right? I mean, they got the choice on their hands. This is the biggest news that came out just right before the podcast or the live stream. NFL agrees to 0 preseason games due to the COVID-19 tests and daily COVID
unprecedented
tests, right? So
that is unprecedented.
Preseason games. That's the latest cut entire preseason. So
that's insane right there. I mean, do they say, and when you're reading that article, is it just based on less interaction with other teams? Is that the reasoning for the for no preseason games?
They're just talking about safety. Critical factor that will help us return to work safely and give us the best chance to play and finish the season. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, I think it's just them again trying to push back,
right?
Hoping things actually dive down a little bit. It's a lot of it's just people in general being blind to how bad it is.
They have unrealistic expectations right now, and me, I do my part. I've been self-quarantining since March 16th was the last time that I went into my office, and I think I put gas in my car that day, filled my tank up, and it was Saturday I actually went and got gas. If that tells you just how much, how serious I'm taking this. So in between the time of March until July what 18th, it was me staying in the house, possibly going to the store every so often, but I'm taking this seriously because I really, you know, I would like to see us get back to some form of normalcy, at least before football season, if not going into 2021, where people can get back to traveling and people can get back to doing things that they normally would. I mean, by now I would have been to Mexico by now, but the fact that there's none of that going on, because people aren't taking this seriously, or not I would say the majority of Americans are not taking it seriously, is why we're in the position we are. So I don't know.
I mean, you kind of said it all. I mean, the thing is, some people, are being serious about it. Some people are still going to bars. Some people expect people not to go back to work at all. If you're an essential worker, you got to work. That's what
Right.
I am. So I'm working, trying to be as safe and cautious as possible, wearing gloves, mask, and everything.
Right.
But it's like, to some certain extent, the people are just got to take it seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
you did it for like 2 weeks, and then you're like, no, reopen, and things are still reopening over here. So I mean, I don't get it. I don't know what else you can do. I mean, I haven't done crap. I mean, we used to travel all last year. We haven't done anything this year. Just staying.
I know, right? Yeah, that was like us. I mean, we were in Europe for almost
I
a
remember
month
you.
in December. Yeah, and then you come back and it's like we beat the pandemic back here,
Yeah.
because there's not going to be any traveling this year. I thought I was going to get to go to Dominican Republic in December, but that's not going to happen. It's crazy. So, and what I'm roundabout, what I'm getting to here is we all need to work together. If we're going to beat this pandemic, if we're going to get everybody back safely into normalcy, to build up the economy again, it's going to take everybody working together, regardless of whether you believe or don't believe in wearing a mask. If you're exposing other people, asymptomatic, and you're exposing other people, you're just prolonging us getting back to any form of a normal life.
Yeah. I mean, if you haven't heard of someone that has passed away, I've heard of multiple stories of someone passed away.
Yeah, somebody real close. Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, if some of these people think, oh, it's just a joke, it's nothing big. Like, so my sister works at a hospital near here in Tampa. I don't want to say just because. And she said the average age of the cases in the hospital is 35 years old. So if you think it's just an old person pandemic, oh, who cares? Just old people are going. It's just them.
That's not true.
Right? They're 35 years old, are on respirators, they can't breathe, and they had to go to the hospital. So, I mean, take it serious. I mean, that.
Yeah, I mean, the missus works at the Children's Hospital, so I see it, I hear about it all the time, and I know that it's real. I mean, just based on the stories that I've heard, and the majority of kids are asymptomatic, but they're able to transmit this stuff. So it's scary. It's something that you should you take it seriously. And again, if you don't take it seriously for yourself, take it seriously for somebody who has a weaker immune system than you do, or something like that. I mean, this is not a joke. This really isn't. And and shout out to anybody that's an essential worker out here. I have so much respect for you and what you do. And you just know that if nobody says it, I appreciate what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with that sentiment. And then even in the chat, so Buccaneers Bruce says my coworker lost his father to COVID.
That is crazy.
Not a joke, since I've seen coworkers getting it. Fred F, former Patriot fan, now turned Buck fan. Thank you, my man. And then
Fred,
right?
Good job.
Your head's on straight now.
Yeah.
And furthermore, as a pharmacist, I can tell you that COVID-19 will have a long-lasting effect.
This is what I keep hearing. This is what I keep hearing.
Think about it. Our masks aren't going away. This is going to change the way everyone touches things. I mean, doors. I mean,
I don't put my hand near my face at all.
I've probably done it at least 1,000 times, and just alone on this live stream. It's just a bad habit, and it's usually here. But the thing is, so damn close. I was about to do it just now. So I need to stop. It's just a bad habit. At least I don't bite my fingernails as some people do. I can only imagine how those people are feeling. I
Yeah,
mean,
I just like I said, you just want to go wash your hands, and then when you get done, you're gonna want to go wash your hands again, that kind of thing. So what have you been doing with yourself? I mean, you can't go out and you can't go to the beach, you can't, you can't go to Ybor or Channelside or wherever all these other places that people are going. What are you doing with yourself, or are you self quarantining?
quarantining. I've been
Yeah.
working on my house. Look again, right here. Been working on my house, putting up windows, doing a fence. I'm having a boy now. My wife's pregnant,
Well, when
so
were you going to tell me
I
this?
was truly quarantining. Okay, I couldn't. I just inside the house. There's only a limited amount of things you can do, right?
So
So
now I don't have to give your wife box wine. Then tell her,
don't do it now.
Tell her I'll save it for after the baby.
Right? But yeah, so we got that. My cousins had twins during this stuff, so I mean, it's just a lot of family stuff. More not going out anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere in a long time. Like
Yeah.
so,
And you kind of feel guilty going out too. It's like, man, I need to go out, need to get everything that I can think of, and then come back. And that's kind of where I've been.
and it's the same thing. If I'm just doing this by accident, if I go to like Publix, I'm just looking at something like, oh, why the hell did I touch that? Like, I got to put it in my damn basket now. I got to get it. So I feel bad if I put it back in. So,
Exactly.
just stuff like that. Oh, look at this. Oh, this is sad. Dead for Life. Oh, my father died to it as well. I hope that's not. I'm sorry if that's true.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, just stuff like that, like craziness. Well, I mean, that's sad.
And some of these things are unnecessary. I mean, they didn't need to. They don't need to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's what hurts the most, because there are so many, this people that have a weaker immune system, and we should be looking out for them. I mean, yeah, you may not get it. You may feel good. You may feel revitalized the next morning, but who knows? I would die if I knew that I had infected somebody and cost them their life because I was being selfish.
yeah. I mean, that kind of messed me up seeing that. That's no. Anytime it's a parent or someone that close to you, I mean, that's anyone, any life. But I mean, that just sucks. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
100% agree, man. That's crazy.
yeah, but I mean, let's see if there's any uplifting news we can get to besides that. I mean, that's crushing to me right now. Damn.
Yeah.
But Buccaneer Bruce said, yeah, there's more blood clots in the lungs, and blood in the bloodstream will cause long-term harm to the lungs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pokes and stuff. Oh, and then here, Jordan Durr actually had something about the preseason getting ended. Unfortunately, injuries might go up with no preseason. So in a game that already was a war of attrition, it's going to be worse.
That's a possibility. That's definitely. I mean, you don't have OTAs, you don't have mini camps, and you've eliminated a lot of what's going on. I think, to be very honest, they should start with mini camp, and then just kind of push the season back into the winter a little bit. It's just kind of my idea on it. I think it would be cooler. Number one, it'd be cooler. I would rather see preseason in October, September. The end of September, October looks a lot better than August and the early September. I'm here to tell you, because I've struggled. The struggle is real when you're going to these preseason games in August in Tampa, and that humidity is 932%. And it's 80 degrees, 90 degrees outside. I just
realized the number you said.
It is, man. I mean, you've been there, you've seen it, and you try to breathe, and it just takes your breath away. It's so hot and uncomfortable. And then you can go take 50 million showers if you want to. When you come back out, you're sweating again. So, that's I don't know why that was not on the table. I don't know why they have to keep it on this rigid schedule, and why not just push the season back. That way players will be able to practice, players will be able to be safe and health wise, and you still have a good product that you're putting on the field, where people are still getting the opportunity to have that mini camp and getting into the flow of the thing of the game going into the season. No,
I agree with you. We almost use it as a an advantage because we're used to it. But I don't know
Right.
how you can get used to that though.
Yeah.
All our pictures.
But again, it's just getting everybody in shape. You got to get the team in football shape.
Yeah.
I felt like I forgot who said that earlier, but you're looking at potentially more injuries that don't need to occur.
Jordan
and
Dirt.
Yeah, and Jordan, thank you for saying that. Because that's kind of how I feel. Yeah, we had everything was locked down for a little bit. Everything got pushed back. Why not push back the beginning of the season, game 1? Why couldn't game 1 be in October and just push everything back from there? That way you could have your mini camp, you can have your regular camp, preseason, and then going into the regular season.
It's a valid reason, right? But actually, it's getting late now. But before we keep going to the next subject, I usually give a little, I guess, blip of what we're going to talk about in the next film study.
Okay.
So this is going to be a fun one. It's going to be looking at, obviously we've seen 30 interceptions by Jameis Winston last year. We're going to go back and look at Tom Brady's interceptions from last year and see.
That won't take long.
Right? There's, I believe, 6 of them. And, yeah, 2 of them for pick sixes over the last 2. So it's kind of scary. But either way, I'd like to see, like, what were the decisions, like, were they just...
So let's do this real quick.
Yeah.
If you compare what Tom Brady had to work with on, and what was New England's record? There was when everything was finally over. What was their record at the end of the season?
Was it 12-4 or 11-5?
Something like that. And you saw the talent that Tom Brady was surrounded with, and the injuries that he had. The injuries that he had. I mean, come on, this is crazy. I mean, I just can't see where people would be disappointed to have Tom Brady here, just knowing that.
I lied. 8 interceptions. But 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 12-4 record. That's damn good.
I would take that over 5,000 yards passing any day.
With a 12-4 record? Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All day and twice on Sundays.
I mean, but that's why, yeah, we were going to take a peek at those interceptions, see, were they forced? Were they bad reads? Were they... Yeah, Jay Elmore said, shortest film study ever. Well, it's going to be... We're going to look at the defenses. What were they running? Was it great plays by the defense? Or was it just... well, because I don't want to give away everything what was going on, but... Jordan Durr, thank you. Yeah, so we'll check it out for you guys. And then wide receivers after that. The freaking stars we got on the outside. But, I mean, it's just a good positive thing. Another outlook from 30 interceptions to 8. And the difference between forcing and maybe it was just a great play by the defense. But, I mean, other than that, I mean, any other topics you want discussed, Gene?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Normally on my show, I do what I call the hot seat. And
here we go.
I have 10 questions. I give you 1 minute or 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. Very, very easy questions. I don't know how people cannot do this. I normally get the questions in like maybe 50 seconds, maybe. But because you don't know the questions and I do, that may be why.
You're an ass.
So,
but bring it.
I'm going to ask you: are you willing to try this?
Let's do it.
All right.
Hey, it's the off season.
So,
There's nothing else going on.
What I'm going to do? I got my trusty handy dandy phone here. I got the timer ready, and what I'll do is I'll start with the first question, and then once I ask the first question, I'll start the timer, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
All right. And these are all football related, so it'll be easy. I'm being easy on you. This isn't all sports related. This is just football.
Okay.
All right. Ready? First question. Madden ratings, buy or sell?
Sell. Hands down.
What wins championships, offense or defense?
Defense.
Dungy or Gruden?
Ooh. I'm going to say it. I'm a Gruden.
Dome or open air stadium?
Open air.
ESPN network or ESPN or NFL network?
NFL network.
Pocket passer or running QB?
Pocket. Oh. Running QB. Running QB.
Ground and pound or air assault?
Air assault.
NFL team in Europe, buy or sell?
Sell.
Big hit or long TD?
Big hit.
Higher football IQ, Pless or Mark?
Push. Same.
Come on, I gotta have one.
I'll say Pless.
Dang, you got it with 5 seconds to spare. My guy went through. I was hoping that last question would get you.
I was gonna wait. I was like, you know what? I'll give it to him, Pless. I'll give it to him.
That is awesome, man. Thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I wanted to spring that on you before we ran out of time. But yeah, this is just a horrible time of the year, especially with, there's nothing really to talk about. And people are bringing up stuff. And you'll notice I've avoided almost every major confrontation this offseason on Twitter. And normally I'll chime in and say something, but it's just been so frustrating for me. Some of the things that people are digging up or coming up with that I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like that idiot Michael Lombardi talking about Antonio Brown coming to Tampa. And as soon as I heard his name, I was like, okay, I'm done talking about this. And anything associated with that guy, I know is a lie, and there's no truth to it. So it's one of those things. But it's just been so much off season that we really haven't had anything to talk about. So this is a good sign of things to come that we have guys coming into camp.
Well, actually, didn't he say today that he's going to retire?
Who's that?
Antonio Brown?
I hope so.
I think he tweeted saying, let's see. Let's check it out. Let's start. Is it time to walk away? I've done everything in the game. At this point, the risk is greater than the reward. Brown wrote on Twitter, thank you everyone who had been part of the journey. Sincerely, thank you for everything. Life goes on. A4. I came, I saw, I conquered. Mission complete. Call God.
Well, I blame Vontaze Burfict for that hit that pretty much changed his whole personality back in the day. And he's never been right since then after that hit. And, I'm dead serious. If you look at where his behavior changed and he was like that Jekyll and Hyde thing going on, it was right after that Vontaze Burfict hit where he had that really bad concussion. And ever since then, he's just not been right in the head. And to me, looking at him, you can't help but, he's had opportunities. And I know a lot of us, if we had the gifts that he's had, I know so many other people would have made, taken full advantage of it. But I honestly believe that mentally, that hit, he was a few fries short of a Happy Meal after that hit. So, he just hasn't been right, and I feel bad for him for that, I
almost want to search this up to find it. Because I said big hit with touchdown. I'd rather have the big hit. So, Antonio Brown. Let's see. Let's all view this together as a collective group. Let's put it on internet news. Let's see. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, that was the hit.
Oh, he's out.
He's never been right since that hit right there.
Oh, right here?
Watch that.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
That's the hit right there that changed the man's life right there.
Oh, my. Okay, yeah. Wow.
He was out before he hit the ground.
I didn't even see that. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Did they get in a fight after that?
No, Juju actually paid him back and gave him a concussion, and I think it affected. Yeah, and I think that affected him. But again, that hit didn't have to happen, man. That could have been easily wrap him up and get him on the ground, and that's the hit. But we know from his career, that's just how that guy plays. So it is what it is.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't. Ooh, cost the Bengals the playoff game.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Cost the Bengals. I mean, cost the damn guy's mental health.
But much. After that hit, that's when you saw him recording the team practices and some of the stuff he started saying. He just continuously got worse and worse and worse as things went on. And I do attribute everything starting with that hit.
Well, I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Mental health of Gronk. That was a big reason why he retired too. You still remember him crying, saying his mental health was ridiculous. He couldn't even take it anymore. Like,
Mm.
So I mean, that's why I
But
hope.
look at Luke Kuechly was another one.
Oh my
Here's another
gosh.
guy when he got hit and he woke up and he was crying and everybody on
Yeah.
Twitter was laughing at him. I was like, this guy lost like 5 minutes of his memory. He didn't remember what happened.
Hell, he could have
It's
been a
gone.
freaking. He could have been at like 5 years old
Yeah,
right then.
basically. And again, that and I realize, guys, and don't take this the wrong way. And the NFL is a violent game. It's a very violent game. But when you have a guy that just has a history of dirty hits, of dirty plays, just continuously doing that stuff, playing past the gray area, playing past the whistle and stuff like that. If this would have been anybody else, I'd have been like, oh, okay, it's not a, it was an accident. It's an anomaly. It just doesn't happen all the time. But we're talking about Vontaze Burfict, and we all know, you can go on YouTube if you want to and look it up, some of the hits he's had. This guy, that was all intentional right there. Trust me.
Oh, no doubt, he did it in college.
Yeah,
He would head
yeah,
out
exactly.
late hits, just
Exactly.
throwing
This
out of
is
games.
nothing. This is nothing new for him. But that's what I was saying. That's all I was saying. I'm not picking sides or anything like that. I'm just saying, hey, that's just kind of what happened.
Yeah. All right. Well, other than that, guys, thank you for joining us for the show. I mean, Gene, let them know where they can find you. I mean, it's been a long
guys.
talk of off-season talk.
I always appreciate talking football. You can find me on Twitter. I rarely get on Facebook to talk sports, but Twitter's my domain and where I'm at. I'm on YouTube. You can find me at BucWhatYaHeard on Twitter, on YouTube as well. And you follow me, I'll follow you back. I appreciate you guys.
Other than that, guys, thank you for the questions. Thank you for the interaction down below. Again, we don't know what's going to happen with all this pandemic stuff, but we can all just do our part and not spreading it, please. Other than that, guys, be safe, be careful.
Buccaneer Bruce.
Right? And we'll catch you on the next one, guys.